What's going on, guys? Modern back with another episode of Road to the Top. Sorry I haven't posted a video in a couple of days. I've actually been pretty busy with school, as well as spending time with my family, sitting up for and watching the Super Bowl. We were rooting for the Broncos, and they won, so I'm happy about that. If you guys are wondering about the last episode, I did actually DC from that battle, so I did lose some of my ranking. I did go and play a couple of matches on BattleSpot, though, just so I got my ranking up to where I would have been had I actually won that match. Yeah, because I believe I was like 1631, somewhere around when I played that match, and I lost a battle. I went down to like 1624, I think. Didn't actually lose that much rating because they weren't that high of a rated player, I think. But yeah, so we're still around where we were beforehand. Obviously, like I said, though, the loss did count against me, which really sucked. Wow, this is taking a while. So, for regionals coming up, I'm not really sure if I'm going to use this team. I have a couple of ideas for teams that I might want to use, specifically because the meta is shifting around a little bit. Rayquaza looks like it's getting a little bit more popular, so this team isn't too... how would I put it? It's not like too prepared for those teams, in my opinion. So I might try to change around something that has a better matchup. But I want to try to keep some of the same ideas that this team has, because I really like it. I really like the feint on Scizor. I really like the fast Groudon on the team, and I also like the both the Tailwind and the Trick Room modes. Salamence, I'm still a little shaky on, though. I do like it, but I think Kangaskhan might work a little better. This is taking a long time. Is it even going to go all the way through? I'm not really sure if it will. Oh, but finally we do. Our first opponent's going to be Arturo from Mexico, 1601 rating, actually using the team I was just talking about. This right here, if you don't know whose team this is right here, this is actually Jamie Boyd's Rayquaza Kyogre team. It actually got first place at a regional as well as a top 4 at a regional, I believe. So it's definitely a team that has a lot of very nice finishes for it. And also a couple of other players have started using it, such as Marcus Schroeder and Aaron, who have both made videos with at least variants of this team. I think Aaron's actually using this team exactly. And yeah, my team actually has a pretty tough it's a pretty tough matchup, just because if my opponent leads something like Raichu and Kyogre straight off the bat, there's just a lot of plays that my opponent can go for. I'm just going to lead Salamence and Talonflame. The reason being is that Cresselia really doesn't do very much against the team. It only really deals damage to the Rayquaza, and besides that, it just gets damaged so much by Gengar and Scizor. So I like the Talonflame. I like the Tailwind mode a lot better. In the back, I'm probably going to bring Groudon, and I'll probably bring Kyogre. The reason being is that Scizor, it could be good in this match. It does do a lot of damage to really all the Pokemon on the team, barring Raichu, who actually resists the Bullet Punch, but everything else gets hit very, very hard by Scizor, and with support from Dual Primals, and also from my opponent actually getting rid of their own weather, Scizor can survive a couple of attacks. My opponent actually leads the Gengar and the Raichu, though, against Salamence and Talonflame, so this looks like it's actually going to be in my favor for this first turn. Straight off the bat, I'm very scared of my opponent going for maybe a Fake Out and a Icy Wind, or maybe a Sludge Bomb / Icy Wind into the Talonflame, as well as an Electric type attack. I think straight off the bat, what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to switch out Salamence into Groudon, maybe? Because I think what they'll try to do is they'll try to go for the Nuzzle play. They could potentially double into Talonflame, but I'd rather have Groudon and Salamence in and sack the Talonflame. And then I'll just go for the Tailwind right here. Because I'm going to say again, like, just the Gengar is really, really threatening to any lead that I have. I'm still surprised that a lot of people don't run, lead with Kyogre on this team, though. Just because Raichu and Kyogre has a really good matchup against most teams. Like against Salamence, if you predict a Protect, then you could just go for a Feint and an Ice Beam, and then your opponent loses a very good way to deal with the what is it? They lose a very good way to deal with the Rayquaza. And they do just go for the Icy Wind play, so that's completely fine. Icy Wind's going to go off. It's going to hit both of my Pokemon, reducing their speed by 1 stage, which is just completely fine, honestly. I really don't mind it, just because neither of his Pokemon really damage my Groudon at all. So let's think. I would imagine they'd probably just go for an Electric-type attack. Maybe another Icy Wind. I could also see an Icy Wind come out right here. Actually, you know what? I'm not... Let's see. They could Sludge Bomb into Talonflame. They could also switch into Kyogre, though, because I want to Flare Blitz their Raichu to KO it. But they could also... I don't know. I don't see them switching in the Kyogre. I'll actually just go for a Precipice Blades and a Tailwind, I think. Let's see. They withdraw Raichu. Maybe into Rayquaza, I could imagine. Nope, into the Kyogre, so gonna get off a lot of damage with that Precipice Blades, as well as getting up a Tailwind for free. They're probably just gonna Sludge Bomb my Talonflame for the knockout, but as I said, I am just going to get a free switch in if they do knock it out. I might actually survive because I do have a little bit of bulk investment in this Talonflame. One of the many changes I was talking about. So let's see, I go for the Tailwind. Do they go for a skill swap play? And they do actually go for the skill swap, so... Oh, but they skill swap the Talonflame. So they get rid of their own Levitate. Oh my god. That was a really bad play by my opponent. So let's see. Precipice Blades. Gengar avoids. Kyogre avoids too. No. My predictions weren't worth it right there. Okay, so I'm right here. I have to assume that they're just going to go for... I don't know, I guess a Protect and an Icy Wind. I'm inclined to just Precipice Blades and Brave Bird the Kyogre. Because that should be able to almost knock them out. Like I said, they could go for the Protect play, which is what they go for, but at least I'll be able to break the sash on this Gengar. They could also Sludge Bomb. Oh, wait, no, I still outspeed them. No, I still should not have doubled into the Gengar right here. If they do go for the Icy Wind, at the very least, my Groudon will speed tie their Kyogre, so that's actually a pretty good point I can make to myself. Convince myself I'm not losing this match. Let's see, they do threaten me with the Sludge Bomb now. I don't really have a free switch in, though. I think I have to just go for the same play, Precipice Blades and a Brave Bird. Probably won't knock out the Kyogre, but at least I'll be able to double protect the following turn. And they actually don't switch out their Kyogre, so that's a little bit surprising. And I'm not sure if this Kyogre can actually survive a Precipice Blades. If they do speed type me, if they are a max speed variant on their Kyogre, which is very likely, they could actually KO both my Pokemon right here. But I'm still fine with that. Oh, no, and I still miss a Precipice Blades on that Kyogre. This game would be completely over if I hit either of those on the first Precipice Blades. But, you know, it's Pokemon. There's RNG. That really sucks. Yeah, no, my opponent would have definitely lost the Kyogre right there. But now I just get a free switch into Salamence and my own Kyogre. And it's going to come down to a 50-50 play if they bring in their Raichu. So this is really shitty. I should have won this game, but 2 Precipice Blades misses. I mean, it is sort of rare to miss 2 like that, especially when you've only attacked 3 times. But like I said, it's Pokemon. Things like that happen. So let's see. This next turn, I'm going to have to go for a major prediction, I think. I think I have the Tailwind up still. I'm not sure. I didn't see if it went down. So I think they definitely have to go for a Fake Out this turn. The question is, who do they Fake Out? I mean, I could see a Fake Out onto Salamence and then a Ice Beam into that slot, which is completely likely. But I'm also afraid that my opponent might just go for the double attack into Kyogre, which Might actually knock it out. I know that the Raichu's intimidated right here, but yeah, it comes down to this 50-50. So let's think. Salamence. So I got rid of the Gengar. He probably has Rayquaza. So if I lose Salamence, but I KO both of his Pokemon, then I can still win. I think what I have to do right here, I just have to Double Edge and Water Spout. And if they protect and Nuzzle, no, that makes no sense, because like I said, I think I still have the Tailwind. I think they have to go for Fake Out right here. Okay, and they do. So I probably should have predicted that. I was really scared of the Feint play, though. Like, if I was my opponent, I definitely would have gone for the Feint play. Just because of Protect right there, to protect from the Fake Out was very obvious, but we are on the lower ladder, though. My opponent is a bit more, or I guess less experienced, though, so they probably wouldn't have made that prediction. I don't mean to make fun of people or say that they're bad players, but there's a lot of bad players in this format. I'm not gonna lie. Because if Protect was a really obvious play on my side. Yeah, no, if I was my opponent, I definitely would not have Fake Outed. Like, it's safe, but if I protected, then I could just Hyper Voice the next turn, because they would have Kyogre Rayquaza out. And then, yeah, I could just go for an Ice Beam and, like, a Hyper Voice. So I guess this turn what I have to go for is a Ice Beam onto Rayquaza, and then hope that a mix of their attacks actually can't knock me out. Most likely they will, though. The only situation I could see myself winning right here is maybe if they have a Focus Sash Rayquaza, and then if I can freeze it, or if they're just not Life Orb. And they actually just Protect, so that's fine. And let's see if they attacked. No, they just go for Scald, so I guess they just wanted to play it safe right there. They don't get the burn, though, which is fine. So yeah, I guess this comes down to what item Rayquaza has. And again, like I said, I probably should have won this match. The double Precipice Blades miss in this one match pretty much meant that I couldn't knock out the Kyogre in one hit with any of my Pokemon. I actually survive at 2 HP. Scald's going to take me out, though. But yeah, just one of the unfortunate parts of VGC. 2 misses in one match, definitely possible given that it's Precipice Blades is 85% accurate. Most people, they'll say go Special Groudon, especially since I have like Trick Room. I think the Physical actually makes a lot more sense on most Groudons. I'm actually surprised that Physical isn't more common. To me, it looks like Special is actually more common. But yeah, 2 misses, 1 match. Not likely, but definitely possible. So we're just going to move on to our next match. Hopefully a little bit less RNG. Because like I said, that match, if I did hit the Precipice Blades, it was over. Because I believe the... Yeah, I could just Hyper Voice the following turn, and then it would KO his Gengar and Kyogre, and yeah. And I still don't understand why they would just go for the Fake Out play that turn. Because if I did Protect and Water Spout, then they would lose their Raichu, and then they would be in a position where they basically couldn't win. I would have a full health Kyogre against a Rayquaza and an almost KO'd Kyogre on their own side. And unless they were running something like, I guess, Choice Scarf Rayquaza, then I basically won. Or maybe if they froze Kyogre too. But my opponent definitely should have went for a prediction that turn, I think. Because that Raichu on Jamie Boyd's team does actually carry the Feint. It is actually the most popular set, I think, using a Fake Out, Volt, Tackle, Nuzzle, and Feint. Just because it has a lot of threatening options. It can one-hit KO some Kyogres. It can... what is it? It can one-hit KO Kyogre. It's got Nuzzle for the Paralysis. It has Fake Out support. It has Feint support. So yeah, no, most run Feint. They probably should have gone for the Feint play, in my opinion. Just because if I protected right there, they lost. And we're actually going to play another Rayquaza team. This one's a little less standard, though. They do have the Rayquaza and Kyogre, but they're actually running the Whimsicott and Gengar, as well as dual Genies. So looks like they might actually be running the Mega Gengar set with Encore and Disable, obviously. Gengar Whimsicott was a little bit popular last season. Never really had any good finishes just because it was really gimmicky. Disable Gengar was actually pretty good, but paired up with Whimsicott, really, it was just too gimmicky to function. But this team does look really, really, really insanely weak to the Trick Room mode. So I think what I'll lead off with is Cresselia and Groudon. The reason being is that if they lead with their Kyogre and maybe their Gengar, they don't really have a good way to KO my Cresselia without risking me KOing their Gengar on their side. In the back, I'm probably going to bring my own Kyogre. It's really good against most of his team, barring the Kyogre of their own. And I'll probably just bring the Salamence back, I think. Yeah, I think I like that because it's not immediately weak to Thunderbolt like Talonflame. The priority from the priority Brave Bird might be a little bit good just because it helps me pick up a couple of knockouts if I have the Trick Room mode up and let's say Kyogre and Talonflame out. Let's see, Gengar Whimsicott? No, actually Thundurus and Kyogre. So that's interesting. They're probably going to set up their weather given that I'm actually a fast Groudon. So I do go first right here, which is completely fine. Yeah, I mean, I guess what they could go right here is a role play and then a water spout, which would make a lot of sense. Let's see. Should I think I might just go for a Precipice Blades right here in a Trick Room. And the reason I say that is because, I mean, if they do end up going for, because I think what they might go for is a Thunderbolt and a Water Spout. Thunderbolt going into Groudon, just in case if I switch into Kyogre. I'm just going to go for the Trick Room, and should I go for Precipice Blades? I actually think I should. They actually go for Thunder Wave on a Cresselia. Probably going to be seeing a Water Spout coming out right here from the Kyogre. Hopefully they're not max speed because we would be speed tying. Precipice Blades does not hit the Thundurus thanks to its flying type, but it will be able to successfully hit the Kyogre. Not actually doing that much because they are a fully physically invested Kyogre. That's scary. They are going to KO Groudon right here, but they're not going to do very much to my Cresselia. If I get through the paralysis here, though, I should be in a good position, as I am. Because now I can just go for a Helping Hand Water Spout, and they really don't have any good options on their team against that. I guess what they have to go for is the paralysis hacks, but yeah, just another thing. Got to rely on the luck. That's one of the main reasons why most people stop playing VGC is the luck. I know a couple of my friends have actually stopped playing just because there is a lot of luck involved. And then you also have players like Alex Agloza who just completely quit out after 2014 just because the RNG is really insane. So let's see. Helping Hand Water Spout. Helping Hand going first, obviously, before any potential protects. They do actually go for Swagger, though. So, not even going for the Thunder Wave, going for the Swagger. If I hit myself, that's unfortunate. It will do a lot of damage to me, and if they have Thunder, they've basically won the match. But if I do get off this Water Spout, and I do hit myself, okay. And I do have the Thunder. So, 2 games in a row, losing to luck. One of the unfortunate parts of Pokemon. I guess next turn what I'm going to have to go for, I don't even know. This is stupid at this point. Yeah, I'm just going to Helping Hand Kyogre and Origin Pulse, I guess. They're just going to Thunder Wave. They have no other play. An Origin Pulse, unless it crits right here, then I don't think it'll be able to take out their Kyogre either. So, yeah, like I said, another match coming down to pure RNG. This really sucks. Okay, I do get through, though. It does connect with both. Let's see if we can crit the Kyogre. That's my only win condition at this point. But yeah, it's not going to pick up the knockout. So it's going to come down to what they have in back right here. Oh, and they actually go for Origin Pulse, though. Should be able to pick up the knockout onto Kyogre right here. Oh, but no, I still survived, so that's nice. It's not coming down completely to RNG. Yeah, and they're just gonna go for the what is it? Probably the extreme speed. I'm just gonna Ice Beam Rayquaza, go for an Origin Pulse. They could actually, if they really wanted to, I would imagine they'd actually extreme speed Cresselia, just because my Kyogre has a very low odds of actually getting an attack through right here. So let's see. If I can actually get through all the hacks right here, I might be able to win. They do go for a Protect, though. Oh, with the Kyogre. So, double... Let's see. Okay, they do just extreme speed the Cresselia right here. So if I actually attack through, I have a chance at winning. Because Hyper Voice might actually knock out their Kyogre. So let's see. If this Origin Pulse connects, I think I can win. No, but I'm confused again, so... Yeah. 2 matches in a row. Completely hacked out. Yeah. This is making me excited for regionals next week. I'm really excited to have to fight through all the hacks to be able to win. At this point, really, my only play is hope Hyper Voice can KO his Kyogre. Yeah, I mean, and then I also have to hope that they don't have, like, a Dragon attack. Switch out right there. I guess that shows that they don't have a Dragon attack on their, what is it? They don't have a Dragon attack on their Rayquaza, so at least I'll be able to get off a Hyper Voice right here. Or at least the next turn. I did Protect right there just in case if they did go for an attack, but it was really unsafe. Just because if they did have a Draco Meteor or something on their Rayquaza, they would have a potential to win. Oh, wait, no. Wait. Okay, I guess that made sense right there. Because I didn't realize the Trick Room was still up, but they're probably... Oh, they're Scarfed, so... Yeah, no, I've lost this match. I've lost this match. At least I don't flinch. That's something positive. Hyper Voice does actually pick up a knockout right here, but I'm basically hoping that they miss a Rock Slide, that Hyper Voice crits both their Pokemon, and that, yeah, I would basically have to get a double crit at this point. So yeah, unfortunately, getting punished by people who really don't know. I mean, I don't really know for this player because they just went straight for the hacks plays. It was their only plays, so I don't really blame them, but it's... Yeah, just another case that's really unfortunate where you can outplay your opponent and have a better team than your opponent, or at least a better matchup, and you just lose straight up because of RNG. Yeah, I mean, I think I just have to hope for a Rock Slide miss right here. 2 Rock Slide misses actually. They go for an extreme speed. Probably not going to pick up a knockout. So let's see. Can we get the 1%? No, we don't. Yeah, so that really sucks. Because my opponent, they had absolutely no win condition besides the Thunder Wave and Swagger. If I did get the Water Spat off that first turn, then I pretty much won the match. And then if I got the Origin Pulse off, I probably had another chance. But they were also Scarf Landorus, mix of Rock Slide flinch chances, as well as the relatively high accuracy meant that they were basically set up to win once I hit myself once. And given that they also had the Thunder on their Kyogre, it just meant that I had even less of a chance. Just because they could immediately threaten to KO my Kyogre. So let's see. We're at 24 minutes, so yeah, we're just going to end the episode right here. Really unfortunate episode coming down to basically 100% RNG. First match coming down to 2 Precipice Blades misses on a Kyogre, and then obviously this match coming down to Swaggers and Thunder Waves onto my Kyogre. Hola. As always, guys, thanks for watching.